Time now to talk to Aaron Nagler of Cheesehead TV. Carry the G Radio takes a bye week because Mike Heller will be at Shields in Appleton. The whole station is going to be there shortly after we're done today till 6 p.m. for the Toys for Tots Drive for the Green Bay Packers. Donations accepted through the day with Shields matching up to $10,000 in donations. What a generous thing they're doing. And we'll be there broadcasting live starting with 9 to noon. Heller, Drew, and KB as well. Plus meet members of the Green Bay Packers, including Carl Brooks, Dontavion Wicks, Aaron Jones, and more. Plus you can win a pair of Packer tickets there as well. Mr. Nagler is brought to you by Miller Lite, Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There's a difference. And by Rogers Behavioral Health. Mr. Nagler, good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning, Czabe. Good morning, boys. How we doing? Happy Tuesday.
Doing good. What was your net from the game in Pittsburgh?
I think we've heard a lot about like signs of promise, right? Forward movement, development, things that you could look at and go, I see the improvement. But yeah, I was mostly frustrated looking at all of the progress that is there to see, and no doubt about it. But to what end? What's the purpose here? Like, we're going to develop these guys, but we're still going to play the safeties back in, the river. Like, I don't understand. Like, we're trying to like build something.
Monongahela?
Yes,
yeah, there are three. I don't know, Butch. There are three behind that stadium. Take a pick. I don't know, man. It's just frustrating when
Allegheny, the Ohio, and the Monongahela.
Yes, one of those.
Correct. I just like saying Monongahela.
Monongahela. Well, yeah. Actually, the Allegheny and the Monongahela form the Ohio. They come together as a Y. Okay, I definitely hear you on that. It was an entertaining game for sure. I really thought they were going to win. I really thought Jordan Love was going to have his moment.
Yep.
For some reason, Butch was like, they were never going to win that game. He's just being a negative Nelly.
I'm not being a negative Nelly. Don't say it. Never going to say it. Say it right. I just don't believe them in having a clutch gene.
Well, you said you thought they had no chance to win, and I'm like, they're on the doorstep twice. And they just,
I will say, in Butch's defense, what have you seen from this team ever in 2023 to give the idea or even the feeling that they have a chance to win? I mean, this is their MO. This is in their bloodstream. This is who they are this season.
Yeah.
Like, it's just same week, another week, same script. Like, just keep pranting it. I don't know.
Man, you can come on and help fight Czabe for me every single day because it's the truth. Like, I'm not trying to be negative, but that's who they are. They want these green and gold glasses on constantly. Oh, no, they were going to come back. Like, they haven't shown me one time at all this year.
No, it's true. And it's frustrating. It's frustrating as a fan.
Goal or 2nd and 6 from the 12. Whatever the bing ball
to Watson.
The tip. Yeah.
It's frustrating,
I was like,
man.
Oh, they're going right in on this. I mean, look, Jordan Love had one of his better passing games, even though the stats don't bear it out.
He did. I mean, and
secondary that is known to be not great, but still,
right.
he took great advantage of it.
Yeah, he did. And I thought, look, you do look for green shoots, right? And the whole season is about developing and getting guys ready, hopefully for a window of contention that is coming down the road. And I tell you what, Jaden Reed's a dude you can build around. That's a guy I want on the field a whole lot. Like, I love watching this kid ball out, and he is certainly seemingly putting it together. And obviously, look at the touchdown. It's great. A couple other catches that he has in that game, but there's one in particular where he catches a bubble screen on the right side and legit fights through contact, a couple other would-be tacklers, picks up a first down. That's my dog, man. That's the guy I want to have the ball in his hands, like, who wants to fight and wants to win and is like getting better and having a better connection with his quarterback as this year goes on. I'm all in on Jaden Reed.
I'm glad you bring that up because I'm going to put Jaden Reed in one hand. I'm going to put Christian Watson in the other hand.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to say, which one do you have to squint to see as the guy you want him to be? And the answer is you got to squint for number 9. You have to do a little bit of lawyering for number 9. You have to do a little bit of butting about number 9.
Yep.
You don't have to squint about 11, though. That's the thing.
I very much agree. The thing, though, you got to remember, and I've talked a lot about this since that game because, baby, the internet streets are awash with Packers fans ready to run Watson out of town, man. Like, it's bad.
It's ridiculous.
Like, dude,
I'm not there, by the way.
No, I know you're not. I know that's not what you're saying. I'm just, like, do Packers fans, like, just suffer from collective amnesia every single season? It seems like this happens every year where some guy doesn't perform well or not up to his standard that we're used to or set in our minds, I guess, and then everybody wants him gone or cut or like, oh, he shouldn't be on the field. It's like, can we just think back to every great Packers receiver of our lifetimes who has come into Green Bay, struggled initially, everyone hates him, and then, oh, he turns out to be really good. I mean, literally, there are like 5 dudes who fit that bill. Can we just calm down, relax, like take a breath, have some patience? Because, again, I've said this before, I'll say it all season long, progress, development, it is not necessarily linear. Like, guys can look amazing, hell, forget 1 year to the next, but 1 game to the next. Sometimes, yeah, they take a step back. Sometimes there's a stretch where it's really frustrating. Can't bring in those 50-50 balls. Not really in sync with his quarterback. Okay, fine. They'll get there. But this idea that, like, because they've struggled throughout this season, like, he's terrible, he's got to go. That's absurd to me.
But have you seen growth from Christian Watson? Because I don't know if I have.
I mean, I don't know. Probably not linear growth. I have no idea what's going on in practice. Maybe they've hit that play where that ends up in a tip drill interception like 10 times in practice, and that's what gave Jordan Love the confidence to try it in a game, right? Now, it didn't go their way that time, but that doesn't mean like you junk the experiment completely. I'm just saying development is not necessarily linear. Guys can have a stall out. They can take a step back. I mean, look at Devontae Adams, his second year. People wanted him gone.
Don't worry, Christian Watson sent that out to us.
He showed, promise his rookie year and then had a really rough second season. And the Packers, like they were very patient. And that's all I'm asking with Christian Watson. Like, could he turn out to be, a pretty pedestrian wide receiver in the NFL? Absolutely. That is entirely possible. But we are way, 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 way down the road yet from finding that out.
Okay.
I left you speechless, didn't I?
No, well, I like I said, my mind's kind of somewhat made up here. I think he's MVS. That's who I think he is. I mean, that's not bad. I mean, I think that's what he is. I think that's
fine. That's fine. You can be at least a
serviceable
wrong, part of the
right?
offense.
Yeah,
hey, man,
I hope I'm wrong.
MVS was the only skill player who came to ball out in the 2020 NFC Championship game, so I'll take it.
I don't disagree.
I'll take it.
LaFleur defending the Joe Barry light box yesterday and the 2-down linemen. We played the
Ooh, baby, here we go. Let's get on it.
Yes. Let's get on it there. What do you think of that?
Captain Semantics coming to the rescue. I love that was, essentially his Don Draper, right? When Wilde is asking a very specific question and he derails the entire conversation. I mean, that's classic Don Draper. If you don't like what they're saying, change the conversation. Because now we're not talking about the fact that, okay, whatever you want to call them on the outside there, whether they're defensive linemen, whether they're, outside linebackers, whatever, the fact of the matter is they're standing up in a three-point stance, outside of three-point stance more often than not.
2 points.
They're getting blown off, and they're getting blown off the ball. So I don't care. You can call him broccoli. I don't care. And we're also kind of what I think Wilde, where he was leading to with that question is you keep the shell, these 2 high safeties, as we were talking about at the start, back in the river, and you just get run all over again and again and again and again. How do you come, and here's my thing. This is the thing that drives me insane. How do you come into that game against that quarterback? And we've seen this so many times this season. Against that quarterback and act as if he's Joe Montana or he's some quarterback who's going to throw it all over the yard on you. You've got your safeties so far back, you're giving away free yardage each and every play. And yet it takes until halftime for any meaningful adjustment to be made. And by that point, you're chasing the game because you've allowed them to walk up and down the field all afternoon. It drives me insane.
I watched the All-22. On one play, Owens was in the Monongahela and Ford was in the Allegheny. They were in little tiny rowboats. That's how deep the shell coverage was. I'm like, this is crazy. Okay, so back to the whole thing about, by the way, Don Draper, the fictional character in Mad Men, the classic HBO series.
AMC, sir. AMC. The first great AMC show. AMC, not HBO. It's AMC.
Yeah, it was AMC.
Wow,
AMC.
My bad. Okay.
AMC.
I thought it was so good. It was so good.
You thought it was HBO. Exactly.
Yeah,
it's not
kudos
TV,
to AMC.
It's HBO. Exactly.
I agree that he can say they're technically down linemen. I think maybe the problem is their alignment, their spacing. I remember coaches, Nags, used to talk about these wide 9 defensive ends.
Oh, yeah. Right.
That would get really wide with the sole purpose of getting to the quarterback. Well, there's limits to it. The wider you get, the more gaps there are. And when you look down the line at the all 22 from behind of that 2 defensive tackle alignment against 5 linemen for the Steelers,
yes, sir,
and Washington, their massive tight end from Georgia.
Yep.
It's like, what did you think was going to happen?
You got no shot, right? And look,
right.
Matt's point about they need to play better, they need to execute, 100%. It's not just coach speak. The guys do have to play better. And I will say, between the 20s, okay, that's your I hate it, but that's your MO, right? That is your gig. You want them to have to work down the field, and you don't want to give up explosive plays, which they certainly have mastered that. But the problem I have is when you get inside the 10-yard line, you're inside the red zone, they're knocking on the door, and you still have this same personnel grouping. Like, you're not running out any big bodies. You're still, okay, fine, you've got, call them 4 D linemen, but you've got, to your point, the 2 defensive tackles, the 2 widely aligned outside backers and or defensive ends, and then you've got a bunch of little guys. And the offense has just got to be sitting there going, we are going to roll. Like, why even throw it? You're never going to throw against that look. You're always going to run it. So you just, again, you're giving away free yardage. You're giving away scores. I hate it. I hate it so much.
Make Pickett beat you. That guy is nothing. Like, the whole game as I'm watching. The whole game as I'm watching Nags, I'm like, I wouldn't trade my guy for your guy.
In a million years. In a million years. Right? No way.
Your guy is thoroughly unimpressive.
Top gun nonsense. That's what he is. And we lost.
I know. Well, that's tough. Okay, so 3-6. Chargers come to town. High-scoring, potent team that finds ways to lose because that's what the Chargers do. It's
the
brand,
Chargers,
basically.
exactly.
They're the Chargers. The line in the game, let me look this up, -3. Chargers -3.
Yes, Chargers favored coming into Lambeau, which I'm not surprised about. Can't say I'm surprised.
I mean, if they lose this one with a date in Detroit on Thanksgiving,
whoo, baby,
is the season effectively over?
Kansas.
And then Kansas City behind it.
Yeah.
Is it effectively over with a loss on Sunday? Effective.
Zabe.
Yes, question. The season isn't over already?
Zabe.
No.
Zabe.
No.
Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor?
No. It wasn't. So
nothing is over until we say it's over.
Say it's over. Thank you.
And I'll tell you what, Zabe. It kind of. I will say though, it kind of feels like it's over. I will say, like,
there it is. It's over.
It kind of feels like it's over. I will say, the Chargers thing is so scary because you saw them march up and down the field on Detroit, and of course that was at home. But they've got Herbert; he can sling it around the yard. And if the Packers try to keep up, I just feel like it's going to be a total disaster. Like, I think that the correct way to go into this game is to play ball control, 3 yards in a cloud of dust, keep the ball away from their offense. But I don't think Matt and Jordan and those guys can help it. I think they're going to spread it out. They're going to throw it around the yard. I suspect they're going to give up a ton of points to the Chargers, and the Packers offense isn't going to be able to keep up. But, I have a whole segment called Nagler's Never Right, so maybe I'll be wrong, and the Packers will be able to keep up, and we'll have a big win. Because they're getting killed in Detroit on Thanksgiving. I mean, just we're dying in Detroit. So this is our last shot. Let's go. Let's get a win.
Okay, I have one last thing,
buddy. There it is.
I have one last thing for you, and this is off topic of the current situation with the Packers. This is looking ahead to Week 17, and this is I'm asking you as a man who understands the NFL, television, scheduling, and everything else.
Right.
I have a crazy plan in place. Hypothetical plan to go see my boy Charge and watch Packers Vikings on New Year's Eve in Minneapolis.
All right.
Now, this is a Sunday night game currently.
Mm-hmm.
Our boss's boss, Mr. T, Josh, has put in his claws. Mr. T, our fearless Mr. Tyler, has put his claws into for me 4 at the 50 at no cost to the league.
Wow.
But
however,
there's a problem here. However, it's New Year's Eve.
You need
recruiting a posse.
Friends.
I don't have 3 friends on a good day, much less 3 friends that are going to give up their New Year's Eve plans to go to Minnesota. Okay. Secondly, the only way this plan works is if the game stays, Nagler, on Sunday Night Football.
Right.
And I have a real feeling that it's 50-50 at best.
I don't know, man. Okay. It depends. Twofold here. I think they're going to want to keep it because Packers attract eyeballs regardless, no matter how bad they are.
True.
They draw, right? The other thing is, what is the? I don't have it in front of me, but whatever that Sunday afternoon entails as far as matchups go, is there enough on choice, so to speak, where
Right.
Fox can only protect one game,
Any
so
other
are there two matchups that would be appealing? So they can only protect one. So there's a game they would want to flex. I mean, if that is the case, then maybe. But I think more often than not, I mean, hell, they're keeping the Giants in prime time for God's sakes, and Giants are way worse than the Packers. So
Right, and they kept the Jets and Raiders in prime time.
I mean,
so
you know what I mean? Because it's all about if there's a matchup they want, the host broadcaster can still protect that game. So there has to be a bunch of choices.
Mr. T's talons can only hold on to this salmon like a condor for so long before it falls off. He's got to release the tickets.
Wait.
That will happen way before what?
It has to be 12 days before. But now I'm just thinking of this. It's week 17, right? You said? Is it the last game of the year?
Yeah.
Well,
week 17.
Oh no,
is
17.
New Year's Eve.
Right. No, week 18 is the last year because the last week of the season they can do anything. Like they don't have the broadcasters can't protect it. But week 17 they still can. So thought you had an out there, but no luck.
And the biggest takeaway is that Nagler does not want to go with you.
I'll go.
And
I just have to. I have
to
to like finagle the Cheesehead TV finances for a plane ticket and a hotel room. But other than that, yeah, I'll be there.
The plan would be epic because I would sit in Charch's basement, watch him do his fantasy stuff for Fanball and Fantasy Football Weekly in the noon hour.
Just call that the dream? What?
Yes.
What did you call it?
This is the dream.
Yes. Sit in Charch's basement.
I'm gonna sit in a basement watching someone do fantasy football. Is the dream?
The dream.
All right. The ideal scenario is he's a friend of mine. I know he's a dirty, stinking Viking fan, but that's okay. Friend of ours. I would watch noons with Charch on his multi-view as he does his Guillotine League.
That's
stuff.
Dope.
Then we would go to the legendary Manny's Steakhouse to have a bodacious steak and watch the afternoon window. Then go right to the stadium to watch Packers Vikings, and then go right to New Year's Eve in downtown Minneapolis.
I mean, that's a dope day right up until downtown Minneapolis. I mean, but other than that, that's awesome. That sounds
all right. Well, luckily it won't happen. So, great plan won't happen. Okay, today no GTV, no Carry the G radio, but it's on tomorrow.
Tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow afternoon, sir. We'll be back.
Tomorrow afternoon. Okay. And, of course, cheeseheadtv.com for all your Packers needs. Thank you, my friend.
Thanks, gentlemen. Have fun at Toys for Tots. Later.
Aaron Nagler.